Imagine a concrete block longer than 2 football fields, heavier than the Titanic, floating like a ship. Now imagine sinking it 40 meters to the seabed with millimeter precision. That is the Faymarn Belt Tunnel, the longest immersed tunnel ever built. Now imagine the opposite, lifting a 70-year-old dam by 40 meters while a federal court watches. That is the Gross Reservoir expansion in Colorado, a $537 million gamble that may never hold water. 2 mega projects. 2 different elements. Same impossible engineering. This is how they're being built. Between Denmark and Germany, the Fehmarn Belt Strait currently relies on ferries that take nearly an hour. When the new tunnel opens, cars will cross in 10 minutes, trains in just 7. This 18-kilometer link will become the longest immersed tunnel in the world, the first to combine a motorway and electrified high-speed railway in a single subsea structure. But building it requires sinking 89 massive concrete elements, each 217 meters long and weighing over 73,000 tons, more than 2 Titanics. Before any element touches water, engineers must excavate a trench 18 kilometers long beneath the Baltic Sea. High-capacity dredging vessels remove millions of cubic meters of sediment, creating a corridor tens of meters wide and several meters deeper than the natural seabed. Then comes the bedding layer, sand and gravel precisely placed using underwater positioning systems. Even a centimeter deviation could misalign the entire tunnel. Most dredged material is not wasted, it expands the coastline of Lolland Island, turning excavation into coastal development. At Rodbyhavn on Lolland Island, engineers built Europe's largest immersed tunnel casting facility. Inside an 18,000 square meter hall, raw steel enters one end and emerges as precision panels. Each week, up to 75,000 steel components are fabricated, delivered in 5,000-ton shipments. 5 production lines, each 100 meters wide, assemble the structural skeleton of each tunnel element. The sequence is strict: base slab first, then walls, then internal compartments. Ducts for post-tensioning cables are integrated before concrete is poured. These cables will later compress the structure, giving it strength for transport and seabed installation. Each 217-meter element is not cast in one go. It is built from 9 large concrete segments. This segmented method controls curing, temperature, and deformation, allowing the tunnel to adapt to geological movements. After each segment is concreted, it is pushed forward to make room for the next, a continuous cycle of reinforcement, pouring, and sliding until all 9 segments form a complete element. Temperature is strictly controlled using heating and cooling systems. Massive concrete volumes generate heat during curing. Without thermal control, internal cracking could destroy the element before it leaves the factory. Before leaving the casting basin, both ends of the element are sealed with temporary steel bulkheads, turning it into a watertight vessel. The dock is flooded, and Archimedes' principle takes over. The 73,000-ton giant floats. Specialized tugboats guide it out, while engineers inside continuously adjust ballast tanks to control buoyancy, tilt, and center of gravity. Weather, currents, and surface winds are calculated to the minute. A single deviation could destabilize a structure hundreds of meters long. At the offshore site, the element enters its most critical phase, immersion. Seawater is pumped into ballast tanks in a calculated sequence, reducing buoyancy centimeter by centimeter. Sensors track tilt, depth, and lateral movement in real time. As the element nears the seabed, lowering speed slows to uncrawl to prevent impact. It gently settles onto the prepared sand-gravel bedding. At the end of each element is a massive rubber seal called the Gina gasket, designed to withstand sea pressure for centuries. The new element is aligned with the previous one using offshore positioning systems. A vacuum is activated in the joint chamber, creating a powerful pulling force that compresses the Gina gasket into a watertight seal. Then a secondary Omega seal is installed inside double-layer waterproofing. Finally, a heavy concrete ballast layer is added inside the tunnel to guarantee stability against ocean currents. This process repeats for all 89 elements, assembling an invisible corridor beneath the Baltic Sea. While Europe sinks concrete into the Baltic, Colorado is doing the opposite, raising a dam. Gross Reservoir, built in the 1950s, supplies water to 1.5 million people around Denver. But demand has grown, and the reservoir's capacity hasn't changed. Instead of building a new dam, engineers chose to raise the existing one by 40 meters from 104 to 143 meters. But the 70-year-old structure had to be completely redesigned. The original gravity dam transferred water pressure straight down. The new section will act as a thick arch dam, redirecting loads laterally into canyon walls. First, 250,000 cubic yards of rock were excavated from both canyon slopes to expose stable bedrock. On the left abutment, 15,000 cubic yards of foundation concrete were poured. On the right, a dense network of rock bolts and anchors stabilized the rock mass. The canyon walls became integral structural components. The contact surface between old and new concrete had to be perfect. Crews removed deteriorated layers with mechanical cutters, then deployed hydrodemolition, robotic systems spraying water at 20,000 psi across 18,500 square meters. This removed 7.6 centimeters of outer concrete without damaging the sound core underneath. The result, a micro-roughened surface with exposed aggregates, ideal for bonding. The dam is being raised using roller-compacted concrete, RCC, in successive lifts. The crest was widened by 27 meters. RCC is spread in 30-centimeter layers by bulldozers, then compacted by heavy vibratory rollers. The step configuration has 118 steps, each 1.2 meters high and set back 0.6 meters. A full-scale trial section was built before main deployment. A conveyor system transports RCC from an on-site batching plant through an 85-meter chute to the active placement zone. Chilled rock is added during mixing to control hydration heat. By September 2025, the dam had risen 18 meters, with 22 meters remaining. But there is a twist. Environmental organizations sued the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, arguing the project would triple storage capacity and alter the stressed Colorado River system. Denver Water began pouring concrete in 2022 while the lawsuit was unresolved. Then a federal judge ordered a pause to re-examine the permit. The dam is approaching technical completion, but if the court's decision is not overturned, this $500 million structure may never hold water. It could become the most dramatic unfinished monument in modern construction, solid, precise, complete, yet permanently forbidden from operating. From the Baltic Seabed, where 89 concrete giants are being sunk with millimeter precision, to the Rocky Mountains, where a 70-year-old dam is rising against legal odds, these projects share a single truth: engineering can push nature to its limits, but law, environment, and public will often decide the final outcome. The Faymarn Belt Tunnel will open a new corridor between Scandinavia and Europe. The Gross Reservoir expansion may never fill a single drop. Both are testaments to human ambition and human vulnerability. If you want to explore more megaprojects where engineering meets uncertainty, from underwater tunnels to legal battles, from concrete giants to courtroom gambles, subscribe to Quick Tech Process. We go beneath the surface, behind the court rulings, and inside the impossible builds. Hit subscribe. Join the journey. The next gamble is already underway.